does a tax deed wipe out a mortgage in Florida? Well, I'll tell you what wipes out a lot of things in Florida is a hurricane. I thought it was funny. I kind of laugh with me. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. In this video, not only am I going to show you how that is possible, but how you need to watch and make sure that does happen. Mortgage is probably one of the #1 questions I get all the time. How does the mortgage get eliminated? How does the mortgage get eliminated? I'm going to walk you through it and you're going to go, oh, this is making a lot more sense now. How is it possible that we can do this? So let's just talk about this for a minute. Again, we have to go back in our way back time machine on this. Somebody can't just not pay their taxes for a year and then it wipes out the mortgage. Okay? It doesn't work that way. I've got a real big bonus for you at the end. I'm going to show you how not only to wipe out the mortgage, but how to take that advantage and make sure that everybody wins. The county, the property owner, and yourself too. So stick around to the very end. If you have any questions, please put the comments in there and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have on that. So let's go back in our way back time machine on this, okay? What I mean by that is let's isolate a property. Let's say there's a $400,000 property and let's say there's a, I don't know, $300,000 mortgage. And everybody wants to say this to me. They go, oh, well, my taxes are paid through the mortgage. Not always, okay? You're not required to do that. Okay, period. Now, obviously they want that to happen because that's one less thing that the mortgage company needs to worry about where they put it into an escrow. But believe it or not, I've bought tax liens on property where the mortgage company didn't pay the back taxes on the property and almost lost it. So there you go. So let me tell you something. When you're paying the taxes on your property to the mortgage company, you're letting them use your money. Let me just give you some information here. Starbucks, we've all heard of it, right? You go into Starbucks and they have a whole rack, probably about 12 different types of Starbucks gift cards. They're pretty and they're cute. I know they work because my daughter's like, Daddy, can I get this one? I don't put anything on it, but she can have it, okay? Right now, Starbucks has $1 billion in the bank that people have on Starbucks gift cards that nobody's using. $1 billion. So when a mortgage company says, oh, you have to put your taxes into an escrow account with us in order to have a mortgage, what they're really saying is, we're going to take that money and for the whole year, we're going to earn 5% on it. Just some fodder, some conversation here, but that's what's happening. Okay, here's the deal. If you fail to pay your property taxes, nothing happens to the mortgage. All that happens is there's a tax lien on the property because remember, it takes 4 years before you can be delinquent on property taxes and the county can actually sell the property for the back taxes. We'll get there in just a minute. So what happens is in the first few years, nothing happens. The taxes are owed and they accrue interest on it, whatever that prevailing rate. You and I can buy that lien. When the property owner comes in and pays the property taxes off, you're good to go. Let's say they don't and the redemption period is over and I start the foreclosure on the process. I have to notify who? The mortgage company. So if you think a mortgage company is going to, in our example, a $300,000 mortgage be eliminated for a couple of years back taxes, they will come in and protect themselves. So I can't just like sneak up. I don't know why I get this image of somebody sneaking into the county going, okay, start the foreclosure process. It doesn't happen that way. This is America, okay? So what happens is you've used that property or they've used that property as security for something. I don't know, maybe a mortgage, a HELOC, a secondary vacate, I don't know, whatever. They put a loan against the house. It doesn't matter what it is. Anybody that has a financial interest in that property has to be notified properly in order to know that this property is being sold for back taxes. What is properly? Well, it depends on where it is. In Florida, there's all the notifications that go out to everybody, okay? So they got notification on that. There's a time set on that. Every county is a little different. Let's just use 60 days. So they say, okay, these people, these banks, these financial institutions, these lien holders have got to come in within 60 days and protect their position. What does that mean, protect their position? The only way they can protect their position is pay off the taxes, plus the interest rate, and therefore they've eliminated the jeopardy of the foreclosure. And if you look at a mortgage, go through that fine print of those 20 million pages that you signed. Somewhere in there is a paragraph that says, if you fail to pay the property taxes and jeopardize the lien on the property, the mortgage on the property, and they have to come in and pay those taxes plus the interest rate, they have the right to call the loan due on sale clause because it was almost sold, okay? So you'll look at that. So the banks aren't sitting around going, I hope they pay their taxes. I hope we have to get them to pay their taxes through the escrow. No, what they're trying to do is make money on your money, okay? What they don't care about is a tax sale because they know that they have to be notified, okay? That's that angle of it. The second angle is, when I foreclose on a property due to delinquent property taxes, or a county does, they're just bringing it to sale because it's been delinquent 4 years, and they've notified everybody. Make no mistake about it, including in the state of Florida, okay? They will be wiped out. So when I go to the sale and I put my hand up and I win, that mortgage is no longer valid on that property. Now, the mortgage might be valid. That person might still own the property. The property is no longer the security or the leverage or the debt instrument on that whole deal, okay? So they're not using that collateral. That's the word I'm looking for. They no longer have that as collateral on that. So sad, too bad. That's the way it is. Okay, nothing survives a tax deed. Well, how is it? They were the first mortgage. They were the first mortgage, yes, but taxes have been always due on that property. I want you to think about this for a minute, okay? The mortgage company came in last year, okay? How long have taxes been owed on that property? Forever, okay? So the way you've got to look at a tax lien that turns into a tax deed, it's a phantom lien. You just don't see it until you don't pay it. When you don't pay it, boop, it pops up and takes a superior position. Hopefully that helps clear it up. But I'm going to be very clear on this. If the mortgage company does not come in to protect themselves, which means paying off the taxes but the interest rate, that's their last resort, their position is no longer valid on that property. What that means is that collateral that was used to secure that loan is no longer attached to that property. You have no worries about it. Okay, period, end of story. Now, if you were to try to sell that property right away, it would still show the mortgage on there. So the next process after the sale immediately, and I cover that in other videos, is you have to clear title to make sure everybody knows that. That's just a simple paperwork process, and it takes about 60 to 90 days, and it's all clear on the title. So that's how a mortgage is eliminated on the property. But this is also points out the fact that mortgage companies really don't care. They're not worried about that. They don't have a team of people looking around the country to make sure their mortgages aren't being wiped out. It doesn't matter that way. I actually had somebody at Wells Fargo that I trained on tax lien certificates, and they had to disclose anytime they got a property that possibly had a Wells Fargo loan at it. Once it went through compliance for them, they go, well, what? We're going to be notified anyways. I go, yeah. Okay, so they know that. It's just crazy. Have I ever seen a mortgage eliminated? Yes. Why? I don't know. The mortgage company didn't come in and protect themselves. Why didn't they come in and protect themselves? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, the fact of the matter is, okay, the person got the property, the mortgage is eliminated. It doesn't matter. Why the mortgage company didn't come in there, it's irrelevant. That's the law, and that's what makes tax lien and tax deed investing so beautiful. You either get your money back plus a substantial interest rate, or you get a property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances, including the mortgage. So the question at the very beginning is a mortgage eliminated? The answer to that is yes. And all that we just talked about is the why. It is eliminated. So as you can see, there's a lot of profitability in tax deeds, and tax deeds in Florida in particular. It doesn't really matter. They all work the same. Everywhere in the United States, you're going to wipe that out, okay? Listen, there is a lot you need to know before you put your hand up. I mean, oh, the mortgage, so there's no risk. Oh, baloney. You need to make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. Here's the great news. I will walk you step by step through that whole process to ensure that you get the best deal possible so you can get that property immediately. I've got a brand new course that's absolutely free that I just put together that's literally going to walk you through this whole process, how to eliminate the mortgage safely and how to get properties for pennies on the dollar. All you have to do is click on the link down below, higginsmethod.com, and this is my gift to you for sticking around for us for this full 10 minutes. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck.